Hello friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today Jerry, Brenna, and I are out here at the back end of the signature garden because we are going to be adding some evergreens to the back corner. That is right, we need some structure back here for the rest of the year to give us gorgeous color, texture, flowers in this kind of this shadier area back in the back end of the signature garden. So we are going to be adding some trees and some camellias. That is right. So I brought Muscle here with me because it is a very cool, brisk, damp day here in North Carolina, a zone 8A. And so, yeah, we're going to try to do this in and out today so that way we can go back to the house and get all nice and snuggled up.
Yeah, there's some rain headed this way.
And there's rain, yes. So, which is actually good for the plants because they will get nice and watered in. So what are we going to plant today? Well, I am so glad you asked. Let me show you what is going into this back end of the signature garden. Here we have Johnny all filled up with our plants, and then we have, of course, our supplies down here at the bottom. So we're going to be planting two different types of plants today. The big beauties here, the nice evergreen trees. This is Cedar Rapids, and Cedar Rapids is a false cypress, a camellias, and this baby is going to get some height to it. It is hardy in zones 4 to 8. It needs a minimum of 4 hours of sun, which is what kind of this area is going to get, that 4 to 6 hours, which will be perfect. It is going to be, ultimately, it could be 30 feet tall, 12 to 15 feet wide. It's going to have a natural pyramidal habit to it. We're not going to need to prune it. I have actually been growing a Cedar Rapids in a very large aqua pot for a couple of years now, and it is gorgeous and nice and big. So a relatively pretty fast grower. So we have got 5 of these beauties to bring, like I said, some evergreen structure and, yes, even a little bit of privacy and screening in the back of the signature garden. So if you're looking for a tree that will do that nice kind of that moderate to fast growing for some privacy, nice evergreen habit, then Cedar Rapids might be for you. Then we have got some camellias. That is right. These are sasanqua camellias. That means that they bloom in the fall. And y'all, right before we had this hard freeze, because we got down to 20 something, 23, yeah. Something like that.
Something like that. It was like, yeah, it might have been, well, colder in some areas.
It might have been colder in some areas. So you can see that the poor flowers that were there, they got fried. However, we still have buds on this, and so they will bloom and be just fine. But what this is Royal Flush Shishi Camellia. And what's so cool about this plant is, one, that it has these beautiful like reddish blooms to it. It is going to be 4 to 5 feet tall and wide. It needs 3 to 4 hours of sun, again, which is going to be perfect right here where it is. Hardy in zones 7 to 9, but it will also have variegated foliage. Now, these have been deep in the pines with really no sun at all, so you're not going to see the variegation on the leaves right now. Once they get some more sun, they're going to have some variegation to them. So we have got 5 of these babies here. This is one of those instances where I tell you that y'all didn't buy them, so I am going to plant them. There are 5 of them, and we are going to take full advantage of them and add them to this space. So where are we actually going to plant them? And let me kind of give you an idea of how my design brain is working as to why we're going to put these plants where we're going to put them. All right, so we are here at the back of the signature garden. You might be familiar, so we have got the Midnight Express redbud right here. We have got Tough Stuff hydrangeas here. So what we're going to be focusing on is kind of where Brenna is, all the way down to where the limelights are down here at the bottom. So we're going to do where Brenna is, that's where the camellias are going to go. Because we have the Tough Stuffs here, we're going to bring them in and kind of fill in this area here. And then Jerry is going to place one of those Cedar Rapids. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking between those two trees, kind of centered between it, maybe a little bit over to Brenna some, honey. Yeah, so what we're going to try to do is kind of center it between, we've got a pine tree here, and then we've got a pin oak right here. And so we're going to put it here. So that way it screens and gives us privacy here, because we just need some interest right here. So that's where one of the Cedar Rapids is going to go. And then we're going to space out the 5 camellias throughout here. Like I said, 4 to 5 feet wide. So we've got plenty of room to kind of fill in right there. So you'll have these beautiful hydrangeas, and then it kind of moves into the evergreen. So we've got 1 Cedar Rapids there. Then we're going to come down maybe 20 feet or so. And then we have kind of another hole right here. So we're going to put another one of the Cedar Rapids right here. We have got of course, that's still that same pin oak over here. We've got a beautiful tulip poplar right here. This little scraggly thing, I don't know what this is. It probably will come out at some point. So we're going to put a Cedar Rapids right around here, kind of in the center between those, in that general area. Yeah, it could actually go a little bit more towards the tough stuffs. Yes, that's perfect. Thank you. Yeah. And then we're going to come down here to the back corner where Brenna has found a stick. And it's not even a stick, y'all, it's a limb. So we'll just let her play with that. But we're going to put 3 of the last 3 of the Cedar Rapids here, because again, this is the very back of our property, and give some privacy back here. So we have got lime lights right here. So basically we're going to do a triangle, a 1, a 2, and a 3. So that's where they're going to go right in here and just fill in this back nook. Again, we have got some massive, all of these are tulip poplars, and they are huge. This will get the sun. There are some areas where we've got some kind of like some junk stuff in here that over time we can get all that cleaned up. But to have a nice, beautiful evergreen screening back here will be absolutely gorgeous. Because keep in mind, of course, that we are right here where we just planted the fluffy arborvitaes and the stormproofs. So in this corner, you're going to have the North Pole arborvitaes, which are in the back, the dark green. Then you've got Fluffy, which is that nice chartreuse color. And then you're going to have the Cedar Rapids down here in this corner. We'll have plenty of room to come through. And the leaves are thick and plentiful right through here, but we'll have plenty of room to come in and add more kind of that part sun, part shade shrubs or perennials or whatever we want to right in this area, and then all the way down. We do have a holly tree that is here that is just kind of wild and woolly.
I'm looking at that and I'm seeing that probably that thing needs to come out, and we've got a couple more limbs.
Yes.
We need to get the machine in here.
Yes.
To get up there and get a couple more of these down, would be a good time to do it without the leaves on them.
Yes, exactly. So because this holly tree is, it is funky, y'all. It is not growing straight, and it's actually split. Like you can see way down here, really kind of close to the base of the tree. Then it forks off, which you've got one going to the right, one going to the left, which just spells disaster. At some point, this is going to split, and then we have got grapevine growing in it. So I could see in the very foreseeable future, that baby is going to come out, kind of open up this area a little bit here. And then like Jerry said, with that pin oak right there, we have got lots of limbs. Jackson did come through, I don't know, a month or so ago and limbed up some of it, but we can limb up some more. So what we are going to do is we have got our supplies. Of course, we always plant with biotone. Biotone is that starter fertilizer, has the mycorrhiza fungi in there to make those roots nice and happy and healthy, opens it up. This is a great way to amend that soil and to get that organic matter in there. So that is that starter fertilizer that we always use. And then because Jerry is with me, we're going to be using the 9-inch auger. I even thought about if we wanted to get the Bobcat. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. But we're going to go for it and see, because this does move a lot faster. The 9-inch Jenny's Edition auger is great. And because we are going here at the base of these trees. This is fantastic because it will cut through any tree roots that we may have. It works great in that compact clay soil, which here should not be too terribly compacted because it's right on the edge of the creek, and that tends to have more of kind of a sandy, loamy soil. So we will do that, and I joke about using the Bobcat. We could, it's just right over there, but the auger actually works a whole lot faster than the machinery.
It really does. With these type of holes, you know, being just 3 gallon, if you were doing larger containers, you know, that type of thing, if you're bigger trees, I could see, but
yeah,
you know,
since these are 3 gallons, they're not 15 gallons.
Yeah, I mean, we can do, I mean, we did what, 8 or, I don't know, how many was that over there? All those Incrediballs?
Oh, it was a lot, like 15?
15, 20 of them,
yeah,
whatever, in like 8 minutes.
Yes.
Drilled the holes.
Yes.
And that was moving the camera around.
Yes.
So as long as it goes well, I could knock that out real quick because I can move to the next one faster. So, you know, guys, you got landscape companies, you got a crew that's out there working, you know, and their efficiency, you know, saving you money, putting more money back in the company, you know, is moving quickly to each hole.
That's right. So what we're going to do first is, because the leaves are plentiful right here, we're going to go through and we got some limbs in here. We're going to get those out, go ahead and get the camellias placed, and then we can start drilling. Sound good?
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right, let's do it. All right, my friends, so what we decided to do is we're just going to record, and we both have our mics on, so you get to experience what it is like to plant with Jenny and Jerry. So we're just gonna go through, we're gonna put the plants out together. Literally, we're not gonna montage this. You just get to follow along with us. And
yeah, sometimes I think, you know, you just don't get to see like all the real stuff that happens. It's not always perfect. This auger might fall apart on me. Who knows? I might find a big rock. You know, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. That way, this is live action. As live as it can get without you being here, maybe.
That's right.
I think all the guys, when they were blowing leaves, they blew all the leaves into the bed, so we have...
They did.
Like 3 feet of leaves.
It is very thick in here, so I'm sure that we're going to find some sticks. So, fun little fact. Hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't talk and count at the same time. But over Thanksgiving, we had a fun little, I don't know what we were doing, but we decided to start measuring our feet, because we always joke that Jerry's foot is exactly 12 inches. It is actually 13 inches.
With the shoe.
With the shoe. And then my foot is 12 inches with my shoe. So that's why we just go through and have fun. And I said 4 to 5 feet as far as with the camellias. So that's 4 of my feet from center of pot to center of pot, and we will be good. So I got 1 more to grab.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in the ground.
So I think what I'm gonna do is bring this other one back right here.
That was the E-clutch kicking in. E-clutch kicks in. I'm not hurt.
That's right. So that's the thing about that drill, is that with the E-clutch, when you hit a root resistance, it cuts off. So it's a safety feature. All right, so on the bag, because people were talking about how much biotone you're supposed to use, it will tell you on the bag how much. So this is a 3 gallon, so we use 1.5 cups. If you want to measure it, measure it. That's not my personality. I eyeball it. There you go.
I'm trying to...
Here, do you want me to plant and you go drill?
Yeah.
I think Brenna has learned that with the auger, she knows that a pot is coming soon.
This is that same one. We haven't replaced that.
Yes.
We haven't replaced the top.
We need
hex.
to replace the hex because Jerry, we just were planting last week some hydrangeas down at the house. and we have not replaced the hex head on that.
So yeah, I think I mentioned in that video, you want to make sure that you're hitting each one of these points on the drill 3 times. There's 3 holes. You go through it and rotate it, tighten it down. In fact, no, you know what I think happened?
No.
Jackson brought this up
Yes.
the other day, and he had switched out something. I can't remember.
Yeah, because y'all, he took it off, I think.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother project that we'll talk about another day. So it looks like this Cedar Rapids is down really low because of all these leaves right here. But we still plant it just a little bit high. Have that root ball sticking up a little bit above the soil level. I just have a mountain of leaves right here.
Some potting soil there.
Yeah, this is not compact clay soil right here.
See, it just goes right through it. Tips, blades, everything. Just cuts right through the root.
These aren't quite as, these pots are like, the root ball's not very deep, so
Yep.
you don't need to go quite as deep.
So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 holes.
You gotta do this one.
Yeah,
Got one more.
7 holes.
Well, no,
6.
6.
6, I forgot one. Yeah. So knocking out 6 plants, right?
Yep.
6
5
plants.
camellias in a Cedar Rapids.
Just in a few minutes, and just kind of toying around with it, you know. So while we're doing with Brenna, taking pots around and running around like crazy. But anyway, we'll move on to the next one here in just a minute.
Yep. You want to help me?
Yep.
Woo! About lost it.
There we go. So we're gonna move on down and do the next rapid. All right, so got the camera in pretty tight on this hole. That way, you can get down to the bottom here. I've got about a foot of leaves, which is gonna be really good for mulch. So I don't have to mess with that. You can just see the auger move it action. Like that, boom, done. Now the biotone. And the whole plant the tree. There we go. So I didn't, when I placed that one over there, I wasn't really sure on the placement of these 3 right here.
Yeah, so I envisioned it. Of course, Brenna was in here knocking it over. Got like 3 feet of leaves in here.
Yeah, they blew all the leaves in.
Yeah, so one here because it's kind of in line with the North Poles and with it being nice and big, and we got plenty of room here.
Okay.
And then I was actually thinking of this one. So many leaves. This one being, I think the tree was falling apart. Good grief. Good golly.
Yep, well.
I might need some help.
So we said live action. This is live action, folks. Oh.
Okay.
All the leaves got blown in here. You can't see what's down on the ground.
Nope. Okay. Brenna's loving life over here. So then,
Oh, Lord.
here, and then, because if those 2 trees
Those
come
are
out,
probably coming out, so it's
Okay.
not going to matter.
so then let's look back here.
Yep.
Yeah, that's perfect, because then we'll have some room right here if we want to put something else.
Like, and then even for next year, you know, you could put these like good spots in your garden. And, you know, you could add a real bulk color. You know,
Right,
like
because we're going
begonias.
to put sun patience up here in front of the fluffies. So whatever sun patient we put there, we bring the sun patient here.
Yeah.
And so this whole little corner all ties in together.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I'm glad that you're drilling that hole. And yeah, if y'all haven't noticed yet, no matter, all of our employees know that when you plant with Jerry versus planting with Jenny, we have 2 very different styles. Jerry is Mr. Landscaper, like, you know, slap it in the hole and there it goes. And I tend to be more like tender and.
Yeah, that was clay and rock.
Yeah, so just in I don't know, is that 20 feet, 30 foot difference? This is up a little bit higher, so you have red clay here where we had that loamy stuff down there.
Yep.
Here you go. Brenna. Do you want it?
There we go.
And then with the roots, all I'm doing is loosening them up with my fingers. I'm not whacking them. I'm just trying to make sure that they go out and not keep going around.
There's a rock. Rock came out. More rocks. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to show you this one here and the auger.
That's a good sized rock.
Yep,
Show them how big it is.
that's the big. You can see right in there where the auger grabbed it, broke it. The auger's still intact. There's no damage to the blade, to the heavy duty tip.
Good golly. I feel like I'm walking in snow. That it's leaves.
There we go. hopefully we'll get some rain.
Well, yeah. We're supposed to.
Okay. That's it.
All right, my friends, so there you go. Planting with Jenny and Jerry in, quote, real time. Yeah, there you go. So we got the, Britta, I promise Jerry didn't hurt the dog. She got caught, she tripped over the massive limb that she was, is carrying around. So it was all self-induced, and she does love a good stick and to yank. So this is, she does come from the working line of German Shepherds. So it's never boring around here, my friends. Never in a moment. And that dog, if she doesn't want you to have the stick or the toy, you're not gonna get it. Only way you're gonna get it is if she lets you have it. All right, sorry about that. Back focused here. So here we have the Royal Flush Shishis. They're going to be so pretty right here. So even in the summertime, when our tough stuffs are blooming and they're gorgeous, then you're going to have this completely different color texture from that dark green of the Shishis, because basically they're all right through here. And then of course, then you'll have that Cedar Rapids back there. And then we have that kind of ties all in together. So you have got the 1, the 2, and then the 3 more down there, so that all flows in together. And so Jerry's trying to get the toy from her, and she's like, nope, this is mine. And there, can y'all tell that this poor dog has just come off of Thanksgiving? So of course, with Thanksgiving, you've got the day of all the baking and the cooking. So that's Wednesday. Then you've got Thanksgiving itself. Then you've got Friday, which is when we always do our Christmas decorating. And then Saturday was college football. So the poor dog has not been in the garden in, I don't know, 4 or 5 days. And so she is so happy to be outside. So back to the plants again. So here we have those guys in here, and then I'm very excited because having this corner with the Cedar Rapids back here really does open up that great possibility of putting those annuals there. We've already decided that the sun patients that we're putting in here, I'll have to put them up on the screen because I don't remember now off the top of my head what they are. But imagine that you've got this massive pop of color right here with the sun patients, and then you have them again right here with those 3 limelight hydrangeas there in the center. It will be stunning. And here comes the rain, so perfect timing. But just moving forward, you know, yes, we can put annuals in here this year. We can put them in there every year if we want to. Or if we get to a point where, like, you know, we're kind of tired of putting the annuals, let's put something else. So this would be a perfect spot. So I have like 2 of the Fairy Trail Fresco hydrangeas. So they get like 5 feet wide. So you could put 1, 2 right here. Or if you wanted something evergreen, you can do that. And then of course, having the possibility of opening all of this up right here, it's just going to be lovely. Last year, we down here on the corner, we did the mini-me chartreuse coleus, and then also the sun patients, and it was absolutely beautiful. This year we're not going to do quite as many because we were really trying to fill in the area because we had just planted this tough stuff hydrangeas, the Rocksteady Vitex, and the smoke bush down here. So we're not going to put as many plants in as far as the annuals go this year. We'll keep them away from the Rocksteady. Filling in right here, probably will not put any in front. This is the Aphrodite sweet shrub. So she was very vigorous and very happy. So if we do put something here, it would be very low growing, right? So maybe like lemon coral sedum could go right here. We could do a little bit more maybe of the sun patience right here, or something a little bit lower growing, so that way our shrubs have plenty of sunshine to get to them. And then of course here we have the Incredible hedge. So the Incredibles doing really well. I know they look rough right now, but again, they are hydrangeas, and this is what they do when it hits 20 degrees, right? They will lose all of their leaves. They still have some of that green on them because they are protected by these trees. So they haven't quite gotten the full brunt of the cold weather yet. That definitely will be coming along, and they will lose their leaves quite quickly. And so there you go, my friends. As far as maintenance on this, we'll make sure that they are nice and watered, right? So they get plenty of water, because sometimes even here in the winter time, I know it's not technically winter, it feels like winter, it can still be kind of dry. So it's been kind of weird as far as the rain that we've gotten. So we just need to make sure they have plenty of water, get those roots growing, because of course that area is not on irrigation. So there you go. A very chilly, damp, dreary day in the garden with Jenny and Jerry. Just how we roll together. As always, we hope you found this fun, informative, and inspirational. If you have, we would love it if you would like and subscribe. That way you don't miss those 5 videos that we do each and every week. If you're looking for some fun, evergreen color in your garden, check out Cedar Rapids, and of course, camellias. Especially if you're a Southerner, you can't go wrong with camellias. Y'all have an amazing day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.